to do. Just this all seasons rubbish anyway. As it's the final episode, where is my 60 to do? Just this all seasons rubbish anyway. As it's the final episode, where is my 60 to do? Just this all seasons rubbish anyway. As it's the final episode, where is my 60 to do? Just this all seasons rubbish anyway. As it's the final episode, where is my 60
Hello everybody and welcome back to another Hookster Talks live stream. Yes indeedy, Mr. McGreedy, we are back with me and Mr. TB the Bear. Yes, everyone's favourite bear. Yes, fantastic. Look, evil bear, happy bear, evil bear, happy bear. Anyway, hello everyone, how are you all doing this evening? Hello to Mr. Will F1 Gaming. He says, congratulations to Bois on winning tonight's quiz. Yes, the only one that's not on a delay. Fantastic. Hello, Mr. Helium Trophy. Welcome to the stream, sir. He says, OTT music in check. Won't be watching the race as I watched Le Mans last week, which was a blinder. Yes, it was. It was a Bobby Dazzler. Bobby Dazzler. Fantastic. Well, looking forward to a 2-hour siesta on Sunday, lads. Yes, we are. It is, of course, Spain. It is, of course, Spain. The rain in Spain falls mainly on top of my head. Yes, like very wet indeed. And, yeah, so it's going to be the Spanish Grand Prix, which is going to be pretty boring because, of course, it's an old test track. Everyone knows the circuit, and I'm pretty sure Maxi Boy Verstappen is going to win once again. Once again, yes. Now, before I continue, I've got to go get something over here. Hang on. Back in a minute. Here I am. Now, I know a lot of you have been complaining because I haven't been doing many retro games recently. And there's been a reason for that. Unfortunately, doing retro games like the PS1 games, I have to use a PS3. And the problem with that is the HDCP, which a lot of people will know is hardwired into the HDMI out on the PS3. And you can't bypass it. So the only way to get past it is to use one of these things called a Chinese splitter. Yeah, remember these? You've probably seen them on Amazon and what have you. It's you put one HDMI in and you get two HDMIs out. There it goes. But because of the way it works, it strips out the HDCP signal. Lots of people use them for this effect, even though you're not supposed to because it's supposed to be illegal, but lots of people do. But unfortunately, over the past few years now, they have been removing the ability for you to do that out of these boxes. And it's pretty much a lottery now if you can actually find one of these boxes which actually still does strip the HDCP signal. A couple of years ago, I went through a lottery of getting these on eBay because they're only about £5 each. Okay, you can get it for about £5. And I went through a lottery, I ended up with about 6 of these in the end. And none of them actually do strip out the HDCP signal. And in fact, this is the latest version of those said strippers. As you can see, it's an absolute load of cacking horribleness. It's in a little plastic case now. Instead of, at least this old one was in a solid metal case. That's solid metal, that is. But this is in a horrible bit of plastic. Bit of plastic shit. And it's, once again, it doesn't strip out the HDCP signal. So, pretty useless. But I say, they're all about £5. You can get them for about that on eBay. But they don't work anymore. So, it was a problem. Because I didn't want to keep using the PlayStation 3 because I've only got 2 left. And obviously, they're getting older and older and older. Just to play PS1 games, which I'm sure you'll agree with. So, what I've done is I've invested some money into the channel. Yes. As I say, every penny gets invested back into the channel. So, I've bought this and I've had it on test this morning actually for about 2 hours, and I'm very, very impressed. So I'm going to do a mini review of it right now. It's called the McBasil HDMI adapter. Now the difference with doing this one is it does PS1 and PS2 consoles. Now you've probably seen those adapters that you plug into the PS2, which does HDMI, but they only do PS2 games. You can't run PS. This one does PS1 games as well. Yes, and I've tested it. It's very, very good. Very, very good. And the quality is excellent. Now, it does cheat slightly because it only uses S-Video as the output. S-Video was just slightly worse than Component, but really not much worse, and at least the colours were separated, the same as you get in component, you know, with the red, the green and the blue. They were separated. So yeah, it's not a bad piece of kit, but the best thing of all is I plugged it into my capture card and it works. It records off the capture card. So that means that basically if I want to record PS1 games, I can just get the PS1 console and do it that way. A lot easier, and I'm not really that bothered if the PS1s break, because you can get lasers for these for like 16 quid off of eBay, and to replace a laser on a PS1 takes about 30 seconds. It's just 2 screws, take out the ribbon cable and the laser's replaced. It's easy peasy. And the actual consoles themselves will probably keep going for another 50 years. Seriously, it's only the laser that goes. The rest of it's pretty much bulletproof. Even the power supplies seem to last forever. So yes, I can now play PS1 and record them through this little adapter. So if you've seen these about on Amazon, whatever, they're really good. So this plugs into the back of your console, and then you've got HDMI out to your TV on this end here. And this is, of course, USB power, which you do need for it to work. Now, a PS2, it's easy. You just plug it into the front of the PS2 because there's USB there. If you've got a PS1, of course, you haven't got that. So you can just plug this into one of those little phone adapters into a main socket or whatever. It'll do the job just as well. But it does work. I was very surprised, very sort of bit hesitant to get one of these. But I thought, well, I'll give it a go and see what happens. Now, they're currently on Amazon for 15 quid. I didn't get it for 15 quid. I got it for about 10 quid because it was about 10% or 15% off. So it's about a tenner for me. But they're about 15 quid at the moment on Amazon. But yes, they do PS1 and PS2 as well. And the best thing about it is if you've got a PS2 and you're using one of those crappy, cheap little £3 converters to make it to HDMI, this will actually play PS1 games without you having to do a thing. Not having to do a thing. No, put your PS1 game in, it'll play on the PS2. And your PS2 will play PS2. It's pretty decent. Now on the front we've got 2 switches here, which says 720p or 480p, and it does actually switch. It doesn't seem to make much difference, but it does actually switch between the two. So if you can't get a signal, just flick it to the other one and you might be able to pick up the signal that way. It just depends on your make of television, obviously, but I just put it into 720p mode and it's been working absolutely fine. And you've also got a 16:9 button or 4:3. So for like the old PS1 games, it's running in widescreen, you can just press this button and it will convert it into the square box, which is how PS1 games play, which is great actually, because otherwise, you know, when you have to ponce around on your TV adjusting the zoom function on that to try and get the picture to go square, well, you don't have to do it with this. You just press this little button here and it will convert it from either 16:9 or into 4:3. So I have to say I'm very much impressed, and this will bring back the old retro games, because what I can basically do, especially like the 100% races, which I'm going to do shortly on F1 98, I can just put the PlayStation on and do it over 3 days and just leave that running, because as I say, I'm really not that bothered. I've got 2 original PS1s, so I'm really not that bothered. I can just leave it running overnight until I actually get the race finished. I'll probably do it over 2 nights, but you know what I mean, it's not a problem. Whereas doing it on the PS3, it sort of bothers me to leave that running all night, you know, especially it does use a lot of power as well. The PS3 is about 100 watts constantly on, and so, you know, but that I'm really not bothered about. So yes, the resurgence of the old games will be coming back with this adapter, which I am very happy about. I'll say I was very sceptical that it was going to work, but it does actually work. Now this comes from a British company who have been established since 2016, so not very long, but they are really doing very well indeed. So check them out on Amazon, because they've got lots of other products just like this. I sound like I'm endorsing that. This sounds like a paid advertisement. I promise you it's not. They haven't given me a penny for doing this whatsoever. Not a single penny, but I know it sounds like an endorsement, but it isn't. But if McBasil, if you're watching, please feel free to sponsor me, because yeah, I've used your little adapter and I am very impressed as well. Now it says on on the blurb that it doesn't work with capture cards. Well, it worked with my capture card. Now, of course, that may be just unique. I use an Ava Media capture card, so your capture card, it may not work. But as I say, I'm pretty sure it will do, because on PS1 and PS2 games there is no copy protection, because it was the days before high definition. So I'm pretty sure it will work. But anyway, so that's it. That's the HDMI adapter, and I'm going to be using this in the future for PS1 games. So look out for some more coming soon. And also, if you remember that game from last week, Jacques Villeneuve's Speed Challenge, I have actually got that game. I have played it. All I can say is, oh my God, and there will be a video about it in the future. Yes, because it's a great game. It really is. Absolutely brilliant. Hello, Plano Placey. Well done, Stu says, congratulations to Max Verstappen on winning the Spanish Grand Prix. Yes, I'm currently too busy watching the Euros, and we are rubbish. Aren't we always? By that, you mean I've been complaining? Yes, pretty much. Saying, yeah, you don't do retro anymore, do you? You built your channel on retro games and now you just keep doing F1 2024. None of bullshit. No one cares about England crap football team on Davy's streams. No, not those kind of strippers, lads. 33% off. 60. How much did they pay you, David? No, seriously, I know it looked like an advertisement there, and I agree with you, but that wasn't at all sponsored by anyone. I just thought because I tested it this morning for about 2 hours straight, and I was really impressed, and the picture quality is really nice as well, I'd say. It's S-Video, which, as I say, is just slightly worse than your component output, but the fact that you can play PS1 games and PS2 and you haven't got to do any of that fiddle about swapping leads over, it's just brilliant. And I looked at the picture quality and I thought, you know what, that is perfectly acceptable. It doesn't look all blurry and fuzzy like when you're putting a composite signal into your high def TV. It looks horrible. It really does. It looks fine. It looks absolutely fine. I was very impressed. So there you go. And they haven't paid me anything. 33% off, is it? Oh, lovely. Yeah, I think that's what I got it for. I can't remember. But yes, as I say, I'm highly endorsing this product. It's from McBay. It doesn't say it on the actual thing, but I've got the box. It's downstairs. I can't go and get that now. It's too far for me. But it's called McBasil. Just put McBasil into Amazon and you'll see it on there. You'll see it. Look, so you can see what it looks like. There it is. HDMI adapter for PS1 and PS2. There's lots of these HDMI adapters going around. There's ones that say they do PS1, but all they do is works through the composite output of PS1 games, which looks absolutely horrible because all the colours are mixed together and it's blurry. But you can buy them for about £2. If that's all you want, then that's fine. But I'll say with this, very, very impressed. Indeed, very impressed indeed. And as I say, I just love the fact that it's got HDMI out, and for your PS2, it's an absolute godsend. It really is, because I say you can just play PS1 games and PS2 games. It does do a thing. I mean, if you want to flick it to 4x3 to have a square box, that's entirely up to you. But apart from that, you haven't really got to do a thing with it. And I kept pressing all the buttons on here, and the screen was still working, even when I pressed it into 480p. It was still working absolutely fine. So yeah, it seems to be okay. So anyway, there you go. That's the end of this endorsement, this paid endorsement from McBasil. Oh my God. Right, what did I put as the headline? Oh yes, F1 24. Is it worse than the Acolyte? Oh my God, what a week it's been. All I've seen on the internet this week is the Acolyte. Now, I can't go into it because I've seen a lot of people's channels and videos getting taken down, demonetised and what have you. So it looks like the Disney Mafia in full swing, taking anything down that has a bad thing to say about it. So I'm not going to say a bloody thing. No, I'm not going to say a thing. All I can say is everyone needs to calm their tits down now. It was a crap. I haven't seen it. All I've seen is that clip, and everyone knows what that clip is because it's been all over the internet. The power of one, the power of two, the power of many. we've all seen that clip now, but all I can say is, what did you expect? It's a crap TV show from a crap company that hasn't been much good since they did Frozen, to be honest. You know, in fact, they haven't been much good since poor old Walt went into the ground. And so what were you expecting? It's a streaming service. No one really cares about streaming services. Nothing on streaming has ever been any good. Anyway, nothing at all. They have completely destroyed all the characters that were in Star Wars anyway. But that's what Disney does. That they are the Disney Mafia. They just completely destroyed everything. And we're still sort of talking about it and saying, why would they do it? Well, of course they do this. It's Disney. What do you expect? So, yeah, nobody cares. All Disney had to do was buy Lucasfilm, yeah, and put all the Lucasfilm stuff on Disney, and that should have been it. That really should have been it, you know? Okay, they should have made some films as well, which they did do. And I would put them just about into canon, into Star Wars. Only just because it's got some original characters in it. But as soon as you get to that last film, which is film number 12, I think it is, that's when Star Wars ended. That was it. Every single TV show, I mean, they ruined everything. They ruined The Mandalorian. That was starting to get really... And then Series 3, they ruined it. Completely ruined it. And just, they ruined everything. Obi-Wan Kenobi, what a pile of shitles that was. Honestly. And I have to say, The Acolyte is the first Star Wars that's come out that I haven't watched a single second of it. I mean, I am a Star Wars fan, not as much as Star Trek. I do prefer the other side of the dark side, yes. The lighter side, I should say. I do like... So, but I am still a Star Wars fan, but this is the first series I didn't even bother with because if you just look at the way it was made, you could just tell that it was going to be awful anyway. And someone who was... a personal assistant to Harvey Weinstein, who on earth, in anyone's peace of mind, would they thought that would have been a good idea? I'm not saying don't hire her, but don't put her into the spotlight like that. They should have had her in like production or something like that. But no, she had to be the one that made this show, and that was it. But it's not a good... When was that ever going to be a good idea? She was Harvey Weinstein's PA. Are you absolutely telling me she had absolutely no idea what was going on? Because I'm telling you something, that's bullshit. Absolute bullshit. He wasn't just waiting till after work to do all his sordidness. He was doing it during the daytime as well. And she was his personal assistant. Personal assistant. So no, I'm sorry. Get out of town. Get out of town. Anyway, getting off that subject... Star Wars was always shit. Now. Calm down, young man. Calm down, young man. Star Wars, subtitled A New Hope, as it was redone, I think in the 90s. Episode 4, A New Hope. That was the greatest Star Wars movie ever made. I know a lot of you will say, wait a minute, what about Empire? Yes, but Star Wars was the greatest original Star Wars movie that was ever made. No question. I first saw that at the cinema in 1977. I was there. How old was I, for God's sake? 6. I think I was 7 or 8 years old. I had to take my mum and my dad with me because it was parental guidance or whatever back in those days. You had to take a parent with you to the cinema back in the day. And we were at the cinema and we watched Star Wars in 1977 on a cinema screen. It was absolutely magical. Darth Vader was walking up and down the aisles selling popcorn. That's how crazy it was back in the 70s. Yes, Darth Vader was walking up and down the aisles selling popcorn. Yes, it was just mental. There was people like on the cinema screen. There was people off to the left and right, stormtroopers with lightsabers as well. It was just an absolutely crazy time, but it was magical as well because this was something totally original that hadn't been done before. Though a lot of people have said that George Lucas copied a lot of his ideas from previous films, which is fair enough, but the actual concept and the idea was something completely original, and that's the problem with any original idea. It gets copied and copied and copied until it's just absolute garbage. Hi Acolyte, how you doing? But yes, in 1977, it was magical. And my dad, who was not a science fiction fan whatsoever, he could not stand science fiction, he had to go with me as well to go and see this at the cinema. And I remember I was watching him like across, and he was just looking at us, and there was nothing. There was just like this empty expression on his face, nothing at all. And then when the film finished, he turned around to us and said, "Well, that was the biggest load of old shit I've ever seen in all my life." So there you go. But Star Wars in 77, it was just a magical time. Just going to the cinema back in those days was a magical time. I can't express to you how magical it was back in the 70s, but yeah, it was great. But yeah, I agree with you. Ever since then, Star Wars has definitely dropped off the twig. Hello, Matthew D'Souza. Welcome to the stream. He says you get 3 Veruca Bazooka freezers for the price of F124. Yes. Harvey Wankster. Yes, that's the one. Yeah, Star Wars was complete bollocks. You were only 76 years old, Dave. 76. No, I was 7 or 8. Oh, you work it out. I was born in 69. There you go. I don't know. I can't do math. Your dad only liked this. This is very true. This is very true indeed. Yeah, that's probably why. That's probably why he didn't like the film, because he had to stay sober for 2 hours while it was on. That's probably why he didn't like it, really. Yes. Because I don't think you could drink in cinemas back in the 70s. I don't think you could. No. It wasn't something that was done back in the 70s. But anyway, so there you go. So let's get back to the first subject. What did I put on the first subject of the video? I can't remember now. Let me go back to it. Please stand by. Please stand by. No, I don't want that. I want my channel. Thank you. Here we go. Right. Is F124 worse than the Acolyte? That was the question I posed at the start of this video. So this comes from, where does it come from? I think it's Goodwood Road and Racing. Oh, very nice. Very, very sophisticated website for me. F124 review. Are the physics really that bad? Before I start this, I would just like to say I'm currently doing an all seasons on F123, and just for giggles, after I've finished each episode, I then do like 5 or 10 minutes on F124 just to, you know, keep me hand in, as they say. And I have to say, comparing them side by side, 24 does seem like a bit of a joke. I mean, still don't get me wrong, on controller it feels absolutely fine, but only in the fact that it feels fine because it feels very arcade-ish and very amateur in the way that you drive the car. It reminds me of old PlayStation games. Even back to F1 97, it just seems to have that kind of handling, which amazes me considering that Lee Maffer, the creative director of the F1 games, has been on all these podcasts and what have you, saying about, oh yes, you know that we've updated the suspension model for this year. Oh yes, we've comprehensively twiggled with all the suspension components. Yes, and Maxi Boy Verstappen has tested it, and he says, yes, that feels exactly like a real Formula 1 car. Yes, now I'm going to fuck off and do my iRacing because I don't ever play this shit. Now give me my 60 quid, you bastards. But yes, so it's just amazing that he said that. And Really? The suspension feels non-existent to me. I can't even feel any suspension, to be honest. It just feels like nothing. It feels like Mario Kart. It really does. You just slide it round corners. You've got so much grip. You just never lose grip. You never lose grip. And I have to say, unfortunately, F1 24 for this year, they took their eyes off the ball. I don't know what happened. I don't know whether it's because of the redundancies where they got rid of about 50 staff members. I don't know. But it's just, I mean, it came out, the game wasn't finished. Clearly it wasn't finished, so it came out too early anyway. It should have come out like the end of July, its usual release schedule, so it shouldn't. And EA and Codemasters just seem very, very reluctant to sort of even acknowledge there's anything wrong with the game. They've already started their bullshit on Twitter about, you know, oh, come and do these Leclerc challenges and what have you. Nobody wants to do that shit. Nobody wants to do that shit. All we want is a playable racing game. How difficult is that to ask, EA Codemasters? That's all we want. We don't want to do all your shitty Charles Leclerc challenges. It's all bollocks. Utter bollocks. Anyway, sports games with yearly instalments rarely debut with much fanfare, being for the most part warmed over, reskinned versions of the same game that came out last year. Hello F1 23. Maybe with new features and of course all new skins. The F1 games are no exception. The last two iterations have brought the latest F1 cars on the latest F1 tracks, with a couple of new features thrown in for good measure. Even the physics of F1 23 seem to reach a nice Goldilocks zone of accessibility while still being challenging. Then F1 24 came along. Early, it must be said by comparison to previous titles, with physics that left most who tried it near on speechless, and not in a good way. So we had to have a go for ourselves. So I downloaded F124 and got stuck writing with a friend into co-op career mode, a relatively new feature itself that still has its issues, but we'll get to those and others in a bit. Let's talk physics first. EA and Codemasters were boastful ahead of the game's release that the handling had been overhauled with new tyre, suspension and downforce models in pursuit of an authentic feel. Feedback, however, hasn't been complimentary. No shit, Sherlock. I tell you what, if I could count the amount of DMs I've got in my Twitter feed right now, because people actually think that I make the game, saying, fix your stupid game, mate. Yes, it's just ridiculous. I've got about 24 messages right now. And that's all it says. Mate, your game's shit. Fix it. I don't make it. It's nothing to... Just because it says F1 Games PlayStation, I don't make the game. No. If I did, it would be even shittier. So feedback, however, hasn't been complimentary. Most complain the game now feels too easy. Some claim the cars don't really understeer. Some say oversteer is too easy to catch, which it is, and that overall a lot of the challenge has been sucked out of the game. Here's what I think. The game absolutely is more forgiving and easier, but that's actually no bad thing. The F1 games are meant to be distributed widely to a range of players with a range of skill levels. Play on all platforms using everything from gamepads to racing wheels. My Logitech steering wheel guy. My Logitech G923, yes. And play seat setup is very typical casual sim racer, and that's what this game is good for. I personally did find understeer, that of course was dependent on tyre compound, tyre age, fuel load, track conditions and how you drive, all as they are in real life and as such how they should be on the game. There's also a bit of cleverness where the aero is concerned in this area too. Brake understeer is curable by actually letting off the brakes, thus levelling the platform and returning the car to its downforce. Returning, turn in, but... I think I'm going to throw up in my mouth in a minute. As they have been for some time on these games, the cars are subject in terms of feel to what your adjustable downforce setup is. A race weekend at Suzuka, for instance, very much rewarded the application of a bit of extra downforce, resulting in time improvements of a second or more. So there you go. This is from Goodwood. Just saying basically that, yes, it's not very good. But time and time again, every time... let me go to that a minute. Let's go to this horrible lot of crap now. Oh, it's David Greco. Ah, look, you see now, he's approving of a real game. Yes, GP laps. Look at that. Look at that. Hey, yeah, that's a real game. Not all this F1 nonsense. But let's go to what's it called? EAF1? I don't know. Oh, there it is. So this is their official Twitter. And every time they post something, here we go. Here's what's coming up in the F124 Season 1. Already they're talking about the Season 1, which is the DLC add-on packs. If anyone's ever played the Colin McRae games, or should I say the Dirt games, and stuff like that, also in Grid as well, there's always been these Seasons DLCs which come out that you have to pay for, of course. You have to pay. I don't know if you have to pay for this one, though. I can't remember. I'll have to check that out later. But you usually have to pay for them, and you get like 3 seasons every single game. So already they're starting on the Season 1 for F124, even though they haven't addressed half of the issues that are wrong with the game. You've got the Charles Leclerc Challenge career, Aston Martin events. It's just, I know, I fall asleep when I start reading it. But, you know, every single time they post something, you click on the comments underneath, and it's never changing. Maybe focus on the physics and handling, or adding some helmets that aren't behind stupid paywalls, or adding better customization options, or updating parts of the track further to bring them closer to in real life. You know, things players actually want. Is this game worth buying? Fix the mid-season save crash bug, then people might be able to play the game, so it looks like you can't save the game mid-session. Because it crashes. I've heard there's a lot of crashes in 24. Apparently you can't play My Team past a season and a half before the save file's corrupted. I'm actually rushing through a My Team to see if that is actually true or not. I shall let you know if it does happen. I'm almost at the end of the first season. But I'm going to see whether it does crash. I'm not actually doing it simulated because I want to make sure it does it properly. If it's going to crash. But I'm just doing 5-lap races, so I'll let you know. I've nearly finished the first season, so I want to see if it crashes halfway through season 2. It's been 3 weeks, EA, LOL. I understand you guys are working to come up with the deep dives, but you guys have 4 weeks until College Football 25 comes out, okay? Which means you're going to have to come up with deep dives sooner than later, and you can't release a deep dive, okay? First the physics and then the content you know. If I can't enjoy the new content because the physics are really bad, what do you expect? Well, exactly. This is what I'm saying, you see? Please change the Haas icon. It's irritating. The Haas and Ferrari are both in red. That's just a simple schoolboy error, that is, isn't it? And why is that even a thing that the Haas is the same colour as the Ferrari? It never has been it wasn't in 23. So why is it now? It's just like a amateur error, isn't it? It really is. This isn't a roadmap for any sort of anything. The rewards for the challenge careers aren't worth playing to get, so no one is going to play it. Voting is already part of each Grand Prix weekend. This is by far the single laziest EA update posts I've ever seen. Congratulations to Cad there for a brilliant bit of literature. Fantastic. I love that to see. Love that to see. Kirby says the Leclerc rewards are horrendous. The Alonso thing sounds like it could be interesting if it's recreating past events from his career. It won't be. Bring back the release handling. Leclerc rewards are very meh. I'm not going to bother. When's the next patch? What purpose does the store even serve? Give us some actual track content, says Tom Gorham. All bugs fixed. Is it too much to ask? Of course it is. It's Codemasters and EA. Better bring a patch first that the game is playable. No one wants this stuff. Give us a damn good racing games with classic cars and tracks. Give us something like F1 Challenge. Are you sure? Oh, it could be talking about the PC version, admittedly, but on PS2, no. No. Leclerc rewards are garbage. How about you add some tracks to drive on? Fix your game. I don't care about any of this. Give me Hockenheim or give me death. And this is supposed to be alluring to me? Fix your app, damn it. Fix your game. Who cares? Yappity yap. Boring. We need a new patch. Nobody asked or wanted this. You guys are waiting too much to fix the AI. Races are so boring. Next patch, hello. Your social media worker is the worst I've seen. No answer to the guys who are paying for this shit. I have to admit, since Jenny from Codemasters left for Pastures New, social media just hasn't been the same for EA. I used to be able to contact Jenny through direct messaging when I used to have a problem with the F1 games, and she'd always respond to me basically within about 2 or 3 days, straight away, and address my concerns about the game. But whoever's running the account, there's just nothing. There's no replies. There's no response. It's just absolutely nothing. I don't even know if it's a real person. It's just run by an AI robot, I think, because that's just how I feel at the moment. Nobody is, answering the questions. And then we got a load of guff. A load of the usual Twitter guff that you get after you're trying to scroll down a feed. Oh, there goes me Viagra timer. So there you go, F1 24. It's a great game. It really is. It's a great game. Of course you were born in 69. Goodwood trying to review games that haven't moved on from the 1870s. This is true. So it's F1 2004 in 4K. Pretty much so. Come on, how much did EA pay this lot? A lot. A lot. Are people still criticising the F1 game? Yes, just a few. Glowing reviews I see. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely glowing reviews for F1 24. As I say, I've been playing it alongside F1 23, and it's like night and day. I mean, I've spoken to someone who some of you may know, Joseph from the Elite Racing League, who uses a steering wheel and is very good at the steering wheel, and he says that the handling of the car is just horrific. Abysmal. It really is on a steering wheel. Absolutely abysmal. So I can understand why a lot of the esports are dropping out and saying, no, we can't play this game. It's just very, very weird. And I can't understand how they managed to muck it up so much and in such a short space of time. All they had to do was copy paste 23, and yet it looks like they just completely started from scratch again, which I think they do every single year. Very weird. Very weird. Will F1 Games says, these streams are very boring. Oh, thank you, Will. Thanks for the support. Thank you very much. Thanks for the support. Will's only complaining because there's not enough TB on this stream. So here you go, Will. More TB for you. Yes. He's still naked, Will. He's still naked. That's your fault. That's your fault, young man. Your fault. Focus on beating Dom. Yes, you should focus on beating Tom. Beta test for 26, obviously. Yeah, I would say so. I would say so. Right, what was the next thing I was going to talk about? Oh, yes. This made me laugh. Not this one. We'll go to the exclusive site. This is from Autosport, and I read this and I thought, are you having a bubble bath? Alpine could abandon the Renault engines and become an F1 customer team in 2026. Yes, you read that right. Alpine, which runs the Renault engine, could abandon Renault engines and become a customer team in 2026. French manufacturer in talks with rivals about customer engine deals amid suggestions it could abandon the Renault Works unit. This is from Jonathan Noble. Autosport understands that Alpine is considering abandoning its Works Renault engine deal in Formula 1 from 2026 and has opened talks with rival manufacturers about the possibility of securing a customer deal instead. As part of an evaluation of his F1 project, prompted by a difficult start to the current campaign, it has emerged that senior Renault and Alpine management have left no stone unturned in working out what is needed to turn things around. With its current Renault power unit down on performance compared to rivals, with no certainty it will get things right for the next generation of turbo hybrids coming in 2026, it is questioned whether the huge investment needed to produce its own engine is essential. It is understood that the plan is now being evaluated for Renault to potentially abandon work on its 2026 power unit and instead shift Alpine to become a customer team. Sources have revealed that Alpine team principal Bruno Famin has been pondering the situation over recent weeks and has held talks with rival manufacturers to see what the alternative options could be. This is just incredible. Absolutely incredible. Alpine are so in the mud right now, it's unbelievable. They need to not look at customer engines. They need to just get rid of that team and sell it to someone, because they are just, the decisions that are being made at that team are just going from bad to worse. I mean, most of the staff were either sacked or let go a couple of years ago, weren't they? You've got Ryan Reynolds, the movie star's got a 25% stake in the team. They've gone down ever since he did that. Yeah. They've just gone downhill since he put that stake in the team. And this just seems absolutely ridiculous. Now, this, of course, will affect anyone else who's using a Renault engine, but I don't know if... Does anyone else use a Renault engine in Formula 1? Apart from Alpine? Let me just check that. Does any other team use Renault engine in F1 24? No, Alpine is the only constructor to use the engine from its parent brand Renault. So that's not going to affect anyone else. That's only going to affect Alpine. Wowzers. But it just seems crazy. So they're going to be the Alpine, but they're going to probably... Look, there's a picture of Red Bull. We're probably going to get an engine from the Red Bull powertrains department. I mean, it makes sense in a way, but nobody knows what that Red Bull powertrain is going to be like in 2026. They could end up with an absolute dog of an engine, because nobody knows what that's going to be like, because it's going to be the first time that Red Bull are going to be making their own engine in cooperation with Ford. As you can see there, it says Red Bull Ford powertrains, but they're only doing the electrical side. Speaking last year about the possibility of a customer deal, Red Bull team principal Christian Horner said, "I think we need to establish ourselves first. We don't want to overstretch ourselves." Yes, that's exactly what I'm sort of saying. They want to get that engine up and running first from 2026 without trying to supply to other teams, obviously. So it's not going to be from Red Bull. So they could go Mercedes, because Mercedes are very, very sort of giving with their engine. There's quite a few other teams out there using Mercedes, so that could be a deal. If Alpine does decide to go down the customer engine route and cannot reach its own agreement with another manufacturer, then F1's regulations detail how one of the sport's current engine suppliers would be called upon to supply it, so it is not left without a power unit. That would likely end up in Honda being requested to provide an engine, and as it's the only existing manufacturer that does not have plans for a second customer team in 2026. Oh my god. That's just absolutely crazy. Alpine are just so far in the mud right now. It's just unbelievable, isn't it? It really is. It really is. I don't know what the solution is, to be honest. I don't know what the solution is. Hello, TB. He says, "Hello, Mr. Will. Naked Tiberius Bear." That's him. Alpine could abandon Renault engines. Remind me, who owns Alpine again? Yes, who owns Alpine again? Yes. Both Alpine WEC cars retired at Le Mans due to engine failures. That tells you a lot. Bruno Famin used to work for Peugeot. Alpine needs to sell to Andrew. Yes, I totally agree with you. Alpine needs to sell that team now, because what they're doing is not working. It's not working at all. It's just, no, they need to get rid of it now. As I say, they've gone through so many changes. They've gone through so many staff members. It's just ridiculous. And there's just no results from that team now. They're dangerously heading into Minardi territory. They really are. They are heading into Minardi territory because they're getting that bad. 100%. May as well just call it Tolman. The Renault engine is fine. It's the car and management that's the issue. Yeah, true. As I was saying, and they've changed all the management over the past 2 years, haven't they? They all just walked out the door, didn't they? Bit unreliable, but the power outage is on par with everyone else. Yeah. I don't think there's anything wrong with the engine per se, to be honest. You know, they've been making the hybrid now for quite a few years, haven't they? So they must be pretty much on top of it. But yeah, I think it's everything else that's the problem, not the engine. I think they're looking in the wrong place for solutions to the problems. They really need to be looking at their own internal structures and the management. That's the place that needs to change. And sad to say, but when they need to get rid of Ryan Reynolds' stake as well, because it's just a useless. Just get rid of it. Just get rid of it. Alpine DNF'd at Le Mans while the Asosa Franchitti team completed the race. Yes. No other team touches that Renault engine. Very unreliable and down on power somewhat, says Will F1 Gaming. Well, there you go. Very unreliable and down on power somewhat. But it's just, it just seems crazy that the Works team, a lot of people forget that because they changed their name to Alpine that, that wasn't the Works team, but it is still the Works Renault team. Wouldn't surprise me if Renault withdraw like it did at the end of 1997. Yes, that wouldn't surprise me either. And that was quite depressing in a way to see the changes that happened in 98 without Renault being there. I mean, Renault still had the engines there, but they were customer engines, and they just rebadged them, didn't they? With I can't remember all the names, but there's like 3 or 4 names for them, wasn't it? Z-Tech was one of them, wasn't it? And Play Life, that was another one. But they were all just Renault customer engines, but hideously down on performance and power compared to a Works engine. Because, as I say, if you get a Works engine, you get all the mechanics and engineers come with it, and a customer engine, you just got to do it all yourself. And so it's never going to be up there. So it was a very sad day in 1998. It was fine for McLaren, never had any issues with it. Ryan Reynolds, I guess it's right to call Alpine a Mickey Mouse team now. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Of course, Ryan Reynolds, not Ryan Reynolds, but his wife, Blake Lively, is not very popular in the UK because of the comments that she made about the Princess of Wales. I'm not going to go into any of that because I don't want to get caught in controversy or YouTube algorithms, but yeah, because of statements she made there. She's not a very popular person in the UK. I don't think she ever will be, to be honest, so there you go. Wasn't a good idea. That's all I'm going to say. Wasn't a good idea. The engine is not fine. Given that he also owns Wrexham, and Wrexham have a Disney documentary. Yes, wowzers. What a coincidence. Yes. Renault engine has gone backwards since then. Williams and Benetton Mechachrome. That's it. Mechachrome, that was the other one. Yes, as I say, very, very sad days in 1998, especially for the Williams with that horrible Winfield livery, the red and white livery. Oh my God, when I first saw that car, I was like, are you serious? Are you having a bubble bath? That was just the worst livery on a Williams I think I've ever seen. But of course, it was the colours of Winfield cigarettes. So obviously that was why the colours were there. Also, Williams Supertech, that was it. BAR Supertech and Arrow Supertech. The 1999 Williams was a decent car. Sadly, a one-man team as Alex Zanardi struggled with it. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, it did get better in 99. I know in 98 Williams had a huge amount of problems, of course, with the Senna trial nonsense. And even Patrick Head said for 98 they definitely had to take their eye off the ball because of things that were going on. And of course they had the touring car team, didn't they, in 98 as well, the British touring car, the Renault, which was run by Williams. So of course all that was taking a little bit of focus off their F1 campaign, but I think mostly the Senna trial nonsense was causing a serious dent into what they could actually do, because their main focus was sorting that out. But I think in 99 they got a lot of that sorted out, and then they came back a lot stronger than 98 anyway. That car was a lot better. If that Renault engine was actually good, their customers would not have left them. But it was good, Will. In 97 it was the best engine out there. Renault had just decided, I think Renault actually decided in 96 to leave the sport, but they carried on. They announced in 96 that 97 would be their last season. So they actually announced the year before, that was the year that Damon Hill won the World Championship, that they were leaving the sport. So it was a long decision before they finally actually did it. It's hardly like the Honda engine of 2015. This is true. Yes. Oh, GP2 engine. GP2 engine. Yes. Same with the 2000 Arrows, but I think it had reliability issues, yes. Then Arrows had their own documentary and it went out on ITV at a stupid time. Yes, stupid time. Renault didn't want to supply other teams more than anything. Well, no, but still. More like their customers rightly realised Honda Mercedes engines are better. Possibly. Right, so this weekend, Formula One is back. Yes, indeedy. Have you missed it? No. Who's missed it? So let's do our usual regular look at the driver standings before we go into Spain. Yes, into Spain. So, in first place, surprise to surprise, it's Maxi Boy Verstappen with 194 points. In second place, it's Charlie Boy Leclerc with 138 points. Now that is, oh, I say that, I've put myself right in the way. Where can I put myself? I'll just make myself smaller. There you go. That's better. Right. So he's on 194 and Charles Leclerc is in second place with 138. Now already, just seeing that now, because I haven't looked at the points for a couple of weeks, that's starting to get to be a huge gap. I'm not liking that, lads. I'm not liking that gap. 138, 194. If I was good at maths, I'd know what that gap was, but I'm not. So I don't. But it's huge. Let's work it out on my fingers. 38, 48, 58, 68, 78, 88, 88. So it's 50, 51, 2, 3, 4. But about 55 points ish difference. Like my maths there, brilliant, wasn't it? About 55 points, which is basically just over 2 races clear of Charles Leclerc. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. The Red Bull dominance is... I was getting really excited about 4 races ago because the points were pretty tight, but now the gap is increasing. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. In third place, we got Lando Norris with 131, very, very close behind him and Charles Leclerc, of course. So that should be something interesting to fight for. And of course, in fourth place, we got Carlos Sainz with 108 points. Carlos has reported in the press that we will be hearing very, very soon which team he's going to, because unfortunately even Carlos now is saying that he's completely fed up with not being able to say any news or actually know any news. So he says in the next couple of weeks everyone will know which team he's going to go for. So that will be good because he just wants it done and out of it so he can just carry on and get on with the racing, basically, because it is interfering with what he's doing, because it's a distraction. It's obviously a distraction. So we will find out in the next couple of weeks where Carlos is going. Now, he's been heavily muted to go to Williams. I can't see that myself, mainly due to the fact that Williams at the start of the year didn't have enough money to make wings. So to pay for Carlos Sainz's contract doesn't seem possible, unless, of course, they're keeping on Logan's privates and using the money that he brings into the Williams team. Now, I may have said a few weeks back about the fact that his father is the 4th richest person in the USA. I've actually looked that up, and that is actually incorrect. Yes, it's actually, I think, his uncle. His uncle, Logan Sargent's uncle, is an oil magnate. Yes, that doesn't mean he goes around with a magnet collecting oil. No, it means he's very, very big in the world of oil, like oil tankers and all around the world and stuff like that. He's the one with the money. It's his uncle, not his dad. And his uncle, I do believe, is the 4th richest man in the USA. They did say it was his dad, but that's just a scurrilous rumour that got around the internet and has been broadcast everywhere, and so now it's become fact, even though it's not true whatsoever. But I did look it up and know it's his uncle who is the oil magnate and has got all the money. So maybe they're using uncle's money to buy Carlos Sainz for Williams. Unfortunately, in my eyes, that's a terrible move. That's a definite backwards move for Carlos Sainz going to Williams. I don't care how good Williams have improved this year, that's still a definite backward step to go from Ferrari back down to Williams. Of course, the other problem is they still haven't announced who the other driver is going to be at Mercedes. And I'm finding this very, very strange. I don't know why Carlos isn't going to Mercedes. I really don't know why he isn't going there. It's the ideal choice for him just to go there, because I understand that Audi definitely want him for 2027. Definitely, 100%. So he could just go there for 25 and 26 and then go to Audi in 27. But it's not been announced. There's not even been any rumour of him talking with Mercedes. So I just don't know what's going on there. But definitely going to Williams would be a downgrade. A definite downgrade. It would be like going from back in the day, going from McLaren to Jordan. That's the sort of backward step. I'm talking a midfield Jordan, not a 1999, 2000 Jordan. I'm talking about when it was, through most of its career. So that would be that sort of step going backwards for Carlos Sainz. But we will see. I said at the start of the season that I think there's 14 of these drivers' contracts run out at the end of this year. I think it's about 40. It's a huge amount. So there could be lots and lots of driver changes for 2025 because all their contracts are up. So we will see what happens. But yeah, Carlos Sainz, definitely a backwards move if he goes to Williams, I have to say. I'm pretty sure 100% they can't afford him. Even if Carlos takes a pay cut, it's still going to be too much for Williams to afford. I'm pretty sure. I mean, it's sad to say, but they're just not up there, are they? They're not a top team. So, yes, very, very weird. Anyway, Sergio Perez is in 5th place with 107 points. A lot of people criticised him in the last race because he just signed a 2-year contract and did absolutely nothing. Absolutely atrocious race for Sergio Perez. I still maintain that it's just a glitch for him, and we've seen it from Sergio before. He seems to get very bad races, and then he comes back in, for a few races and gets back into like 2nd or 3rd place again. So I'm sure we'll see that again. So I think it's just a glitch again from Sergio Perez. Oscar's Pastry, yes, he's in 6th place with 81 points. George of the Russell in 7th with 69. And then we've got Lulu. Lulu's in 8th, everyone. He's got 55 points. 55 points. Poor Lulu. I love Lulu. Please don't leave Formula 1, Lulu. I need you there for another 10 years at least. And then in 9th place, we've got Fernando Alonso with 41 points. And of course, the rumour is that Adrian Newey visited the Aston Martin factory. It was supposed to be so secret they actually asked all the staff to leave so it wouldn't get leaked out. Because obviously, all the staff with their social medias, they could be posting something and Adrian Newey could have walked past in the background and then, oh my God, what a shitstorm that would have caused. Can you imagine it? What a shitstorm that could have caused. So they asked all the staff to leave while he was at the factory. But yes, Adrian Newey at Aston Martin. Who would have predicted that? I don't think it's going to happen. I think that's just a smokescreen. I'm pretty sure he's still going to go to Ferrari. But we will see. I may be completely wrong and it could be Aston Martin. We will see. And then in 10th place we got Yuki Tsunoda with 19 points. 19. Well done, little Yuki. And in 11th place we got Lance Stroll with 17 points. Yes, Canada. And I'd just like to say a little thing to say. I'm very sorry to Canada today for losing one of their greats. If you haven't heard on the news, Donald Sutherland has died today, aged 88. And a very sad day for everybody in Canada because he was a Canadian actor and one of the greats, absolutely one of the greats. My first memory of Donald Sutherland was the Invasion of the Body Snatchers, which I'm sure everyone's seen by now. It was made back in the 70s, and such a great movie. And that end 5 seconds. If you've seen the movie, you'll know what I mean. But that end 5 seconds, that chilled me for years afterwards. It really did. Invasion of the Body Snatchers. But the unique thing that Donald had was he could play a good guy or he could play a bad guy. It didn't matter because he always played whatever he did brilliantly. I remember him in Backdraft, and I think that was a brilliant role that he had in Backdraft. It really was understated. It's just the way he played it was just absolutely brilliant. But the whole list of films that Donald Sutherland has been in has been absolutely epic. Loads and loads of films. Admittedly, he's been in some White Turkeys as well, but every single film he was in, he was just Donald Sutherland. You know, he was playing Donald Sutherland, you know, and you knew exactly what to expect when Donald Sutherland came on screen. It was just, his performance was just A1 every single time. And I say it didn't matter if he was a good guy or a bad guy. I mean, he'd been a bad guy. I remember, what else was he? Space Cowboys. See, he was a good guy in Space Cowboys, you see. But I say equally, he could be a bad guy as well. He just had that acting chops that not a lot of actors have, that you can play good and bad roles. Usually you get typecast as the bad guy or the good guy, but he could do them all. He could do them all. And just a damn good bloody actor, and very, very sad that he's finally gone. I do understand from looking at the news earlier that he'd had a long illness anyway, and he died today at 88. So my sincere condolences to Kiefer Sutherland, of course, and all his family, because I say it's just a very sad day. It's sad when, you know, great actors of a generation are no longer with us, especially when you see, you know, the replacements that are coming along in the film and TV industry right now. Hello, ACOYLTE, how you doing? It just makes me very sad to see that kind of thing, and to get one of the all-time greats who sadly passed away today, Donald Sutherland. Anyway, let's move on. Back to the points. Daniel Ricciardo, the big white bear, is currently in 12th place with 9 points. We've got Oliver Behrman still in the points, of course, in that one race at Ferrari, 6 points. Now level pegging with Nico Hulkenberg, who's on a whole season at Haas so far, and still only got 6 points. Level with Oliver Behrman, who only did one race and got 6 points. I'm sorry, Nico. That's not very fair. But anyway, Pierre Gasly for Alpine has got 3 points in 15th place. Alexander Albon has got 2 points for Williams, and Esti Besti has got 2 points for Alpine. And Kevin Magnussen brings up the rear for the last of the point scorers with 1 point in the Haas car. And the losers once again, still with no points at round 9 of the season we've finished. I think Spain's round 10, isn't it? Guan Yu Zhou with a bop bop, as it used to go on Family Fortunes back in the day. Yes, Bad Beach the Computer. Who remembers Bad Beach the Computer? Bop bop. Then we've got Valtteri Bottas, bop bop, in the Kick Sauber Ferrari. No points for both the Kick Sauber Ferraris. And bringing up the rear, we've got an almighty bop bop for Logan's Privates. Yes, no points in the Williams Mercedes car for Logan's Privates. Yes, he was busted down from Sergeant about 3 months ago. He's now only a private, and if he doesn't improve much better towards the end of the season, he will definitely become Chief Petty Officer Seaman Staines. So there you go. Those are the points currently. We're going to Spain. It's going to be another boring race. Always is at Spain. It's never a good race, is it? Old testing track, of course, so everyone knows the track like the back of their hand, of course, except some of the new ones, but most of the old guard know the track really, really well. So, and it's not a track that can really make an exciting race. You know, the overtaking is not really very exciting. So, yeah, I'm predicting it to be pretty much a bore fest, and maybe Dave once again will fall asleep after 10 minutes and get a little cat nap before he watches the last 20 minutes of the race. Who knows? Who knows? Right, let's go back to the chat. Blimey. Make myself bigger. That's what she said. Bloody hell. Right, here we go. Move that across a little bit. Bip, bip, bip. Where did I get to? Blind Old Petty says, boo! But I don't know who that's to, but yeah, boo! I quite agree. Quite agree. Still have Catalonia over Madrid any day of the year, that's true. KD defending the Renault engine. 56 points, says Will. Oh, thank you, Will. That was the difference, was it? 56. I was almost correct then, which is not bad considering I was doing it on my fingers. Not bad at all. Also, I think that when Renault withdrew in 1986, it also started the downfall of Lotus. In 1987, they had the Honda engines, but after that, Senna left to go to McLaren. That's very true indeed. The engine is fine. It's not groundbreaking, but it does the job. Still get decent results out of it. That Renault engine is still the worst on the grid. So we're having a little bit of a to and fro here between Will and Bois. To be honest, Will, most of the engines are roughly at the same level now. Seem to have sorted the huge deficits out. That's true. I mean, they've had those engines now since, what, 2014? I'm pretty sure they know pretty much how they work. And, of course, they've been locked off, haven't they, since 20-something. Is it 2020? They haven't been able to develop those engines since 2020, I think. So they're still the same engines since 2020. It's a shame. I don't agree with locking the engines off for so many years. I really don't. But thankfully, we're going to get it sorted in 2026. So that's not too bad. Just look at how many mechanical failures Alonso had in that 2022 Alpine. Just look at how slow that Alpine was at Monza last year. Renault engine is the worst engine on the grid. It's just a fact. Renault, how the mighty have fallen, says Blind Old Place. Yes, true. True, how the mighty have fallen. The once great... I mean, let's not forget, Sebastian Vettel, Red Bull, championship winning years, 2010, 11, 12, 13. What was in the back of that car? Yes, it was the Renault engine. Absolutely unbeatable. Well, not unbeatable. Lots of the other teams got close during all Sebastian's wins, but he did the job every year. But that wasn't unbeatable, that Renault. Definitely not unbeatable. That Red Bull Renault, not unbeatable. But damn fine car, that RB10, wasn't it? RB10, the 2010 one, I think it was the RB10. Anyway, it was a great car. So yeah, it's not the main issue in the team though by a long stretch. I'm sure I remember the stick driving a Renault, except it wasn't actually Ben Collins driving it. It was Heikki Kovalainen. Yes, Heikki Kovalainen. Yes. And talking about Top Gear, Mr. Blind Old Plessy, as you suggested it in my last video, I can exclusively reveal, oh my God, it's cost me so much money as well. You know, I thought being like the number 2 member of a team of 3 that he'd be a lot cheaper. But it turns out that he's a little bit short of a few bob. So he's cost me a fortune. But I can exclusively reveal that this week, James May is on the All Seasons. Yes, I know. James May is on the All Seasons for the new season on to F1 23. And he cost me a bloody fortune. But he's there. He's there. You asked for him and he's there. So yes, that means that the week after we may exclusively have the hamster. Yes, the hamster. I like the hamster because he's the same age as me, don't you know? Yes, the same age as me. Yes. I don't anybody in that chat put in that chat, yes, but you've aged horribly compared to how he looks. Nobody better write that in the chat, okay? Otherwise I'm terminating this stream and I'm going to have me dinner. Yes. I'm the same age as Jason Statham. It's true. Really, it's true. The whole Alpine team has been a joke for years. End of. Mercedes had the fastest car in Canada. George Russell is completely overrated. Yes, I agree with you there. But I've said that for... You can go back on my streams. As you can see, I've said that anyway. The problem with George is he tries too hard. If he gets in a position where he's in a competitive car, he just tries too hard. Blows it, and ends up with a mess of a race, which unfortunately That's what's going to happen. That's why he shouldn't be the number one driver at Mercedes next year. They should. He's a very good number two driver, but he's not up there for the number one. Lewis Hamilton is a washed-up world champion. Yes, we love him though, don't we? Logan Sargent is a better driver than Hookster. Is he really though? Is he really? Lance Stroll is a better driver than Hookster. I agree. Mark Blundell is a better... Yes. I would say for Newey to go to McLaren, but to be honest, they seem to be managing quite well as having multiple designs involved. That's true. KDF1 is not a better driver than the Moaning Yorkshireman. I agree. Rest in peace, Donald Sutherland. I remember him from Kelly's Heroes, as it's usually on ITV. Yes, Kelly's Heroes. Now, I mean, I couldn't list the amount of films that Donald Sutherland has been in. It's been a huge amount of films. Of course, you know, it's very popular in the 60s, 70s, 80s, even the 90s though, because I'll say he was in Backdraft, and that was in the 90s. He sort of tailed off a little bit in the 2000s, but he was still making movies. I think right up to about possibly 5 years ago. I'm pretty sure he was either making movies or he was something in TV. So he was well past retirement age, but he still carried on going. So, you know, good luck to him. Well, unfortunately not now because he's not around. But yeah, he was just such a great actor. He really was. He really was. And I just loved it. As I say, every time he had such a screen presence. Every time he come on the screen, you knew exactly what to expect. And that was Donald Sutherland. You know, that was it. That was the man. KDF1 is not a better driver than Hookster. Dan Ticktum is a better driver. Yes. Scott Barnes is it? Yes. Alan Menu is yes. Lando Norris is a better. Yes. Jason, yes. Matt, yes. Fernand, yes. Sebastian Max. John Cleland is not a better driver than Hookster. No, he's not. Ivan Muller is a better driver than Hookster. Yes. Nick De Vries, yes. Mark Webber, yes. Nick Heidfeld, yes. Here we go. It wouldn't be a stream without Bra mentioning TRL Limitless, would it? TRL Limitless would be a better driver than Hookster, but things kind of ruined that. Oh dear. Let's just take that comment now. Let's just take it off the screen. Yes, and what we'll do is we'll get my hand. And we'll put that little comment into my hand and we'll close my hand now. Close my hand, okay? Close my hand. And then we'll put it in a little box over here, yeah, with a padlock and a key on it. And we'll lock it into that little box. And we'll never say that again. How about that? Shall we do that? Yeah, let's do that. Lewis Hamilton is, yes, he is. George Rust, yes. Oscar's, Logan's privacy is his natural habitat. That of last. Joss will tear you off for saying that about Hulkenberg, Dave. I know, but it's true. It's true. He's got the same points as Behrman, and Behrman did one race and he's done the full season so far. Rubbish. Absolute rubbish. Les Dennis is a bad driver. Oh, come on. You're scraping the barrel now. But yeah, true. Logan's put, yes. Logan will be gone by Netherlands, possibly. Russell does well for 20 minutes at a time. Funny, but I've heard that somewhere mentioned before. Monaco milk float doubleheader in 2025. Yes. I was booing because you were going through the F1 stands again. Who cares about F1? Oh, sorry. Yeah, exactly. Who cares about F1? That's what we say. 2022. Heikki, what a bang average driver he was. Kovalainen was the Renault test driver at the time. Get Jason Dawes on. Yes. Oh, yeah, I forgot about him. Yes. Yes, but you've aged horribly, unlike Richard. That's it. That's it. Where's me bear? TB? TB? They're being horrible to me again. Yes. Yes. They say I've aged horribly compared to Richard Hammond, who's exactly the same age as me. Yes, exactly the same age as me. What do you mean they're right? You bastard bear. You're supposed to be on my side, you bastard bear. Ooh. Lewis Hamilton lover. Lewis Hamilton lover. That's it. That's it. I'm going. I'm ending the stream. Thank you very much. That's it. Game over. Shall I do some fake tears like these YouTubers do these days? Shall I? I've got a hangnail. Donate to my PayPal. Hammond was at Le Mans last week, probably as an excuse for Discovery to plug his TV show. Yes. Statham's 2 years older. He was born in... Was he? Was he? Was he 60? I thought he was 69. Oh dear. Have I mucked that up? Have I mucked that up? Hang on a minute. Not that I doubt your integrity. I doubt myself because I'm pretty sure I looked it up. I'm just trying to see whether I... Oh, all these years I've been saying that I'm the same, and I'm not. Oh no. I'll never live it down now. You're right. It was just... What? What? Oh, what a mistake of the maker. July 1967. Anyway, I'm the same age as Richard Hammond. If we look that up and he'll say, no, you're not. Yes, I am the same age as Richard Hammond. Born 1969. There you go. I'm the same age as Richard Hammond, don't you know? Wowzers. Who has ages like fine wine. You and the hamster have the same driving style, i.e. crashing every 12 seconds. Get Tiffany Dell on. Yes, we will get Tiffany Dell on. That's a good point. I better write that down. Otherwise I'll forget it. Let me get a pen and paper. Tiff Needell. But better put on the top of that hamster for next week. Tiff Needell. Get Jack Nichols on the... Will get Tiff... Especially as Tiffany Dell did the voice for Toka Touring Car Games and F1 World Grand Prix 2000. Yes. Oh, what a great game that was. What a great game that was. That'll be on the cheap. Get Noreen Caffergan to do the intro. Let's write his name down. Noreen Calf. Tommy. WTF1. Matt Gallagher. Jess McFadden. David Croft. Oh yes, that'll be funny considering I used to use his voice anyway. But before I changed it to the Channel 4 commentators on the game. Nigel Mansell. Nigel Mansell. Jason Dorr is a better driver than... Yes, I agree with you. Hammond is still 54. He turns 55 in December. Yeah, but this year he'll be 55 and I'm just 55. So we're still the same age, Will. Almost. Stop it now. Get James Allen on the all seasons. James Allen. Yeah, let's have some talk about tyre pressures. James Allen. Taki Anui. Rizzy shoot. Oh yes, got to get Rizzy. Rizzy Sunak. Now I've got James May for this week, and then I'll have to do Hamster. But the election's coming up pretty soon. I'll see if I can't get Rizzy Sunak for the election week, whenever that is. I think it's in July somewhere, in it. I'll get Rizzy Sunak. I shall do him first, get him out of the way for election week, because that'll be quite funny. And then I'll carry on with some of the others then. Boris Johnson. Fucking hell, Boris Johnson. Boris Johnson. No, we don't want fascists on the all seasons. Get Jason Statham on the all seasons. Yeah, I should do that, shouldn't I? Keep talking about him. Jason Statham. Liz Truss. Oh, God. Liz Truss. Vin Diesel. Ah, yes. Vin Petrol. James Child. I don't know who that is. Never heard of him. Ben Edwards. Oh, yes. Ben Edwards. Rishi will be cheap because he'll be unemployed soon. Yeah, boom boom, says Basil. Da 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 da. Now, as everybody knows, because I make it no secret, because I don't believe in secrets in politics, I am a Conservative, but I'm not even going to bother voting this time because, as someone said, Labour have got such a majority that a vote for Conservative is a vote for Labour. So I'm not even going to bother. I can't be bothered. So no voting for me. My vote's going to make no difference. So that's it. Yeah, I'm not going to bother. Get Bob Geldof on. Jonathan Ledger. Oh, I remember Jonathan Ledger. Well, how long have I been streaming? Oh, 1:31. Right, let's do the quiz. Let's do the quiz. I don't think there's much of Jonathan Ledgard on the internet, is there? Because he only did that one season, didn't he? And woo, a problem there for Hookster. Get Bob Geldof on. Bob Geldof. Here's a fascinating fact for you, which I'm sure you'll like. My old boss, where I used to work, his next door neighbour was Bob Geldof. Yes. And I won't tell you where Bob Geldof lives, but I'm pretty sure he still lives there now, and so does my ex-boss. Yes. And one day at the Christmas party that he'd arranged a bus to take everyone home, the bus took my boss to his home first, in this place I'm not going to mention. I mean, you can look up where Bob Geldof lives. It's on the internet, so no problem. But they dropped my boss off first, and he was right. They dropped us off right next door to Bob Geldof's house, which is next door to my boss's house. So that was quite interesting. Yes, and when we pulled outside my boss's house, everyone in the coach laughed like a drain because we could see his inside decor, and let's just say the wallpaper had a lot to be desired. Yes, it was like something out of the 1970s. It really was. And all of us in the coach just couldn't stop laughing. It was really funny. It really was. I mean, this was a very posh house as well that he lived in, and it was more like a mansion, really. And yet the wallpaper was disastrous. Yes, disastrous. Absolutely. You were a Tory, you mean? Yeah, I was a Tory. I'm not now. No, I'm not anything now. Absolutely. I'm a non. I can't even vote tactically. I was thinking, well, I'll just vote Conservative. There's no point. There's absolutely no point because, as I say, there's a red wall and it says if you're going to vote Tory, you're just voting for Labour anyway. So no point. No point. So that's it. Bye bye. I doubt the Tories will be back for about 14, 20 years, to be honest, unless Labour completely mucks it up. But I'm pretty sure the Tory party won't be back in power for at least another 14, 20 years. So, yep, they're gone. Bob Geldof is co-presenting Top of the Pops on BBC Four from 1992. Wowzers. Apparently he was used to promote his new single, Don't Even Make the Charts. Yes. Yes. I had another friend, a lady friend, who I used to talk to years ago, and she used to work in London, in a top London hospital, in fact, and she knew Paulie Yates, who used to be married to Bob Geldof, and she said Bob Geldof was, well, to put it bluntly, not a very nice man towards Paulie Yates. And I won't say any more than that because the lawyers will be watching. So, but yeah, that's what I heard. So there you go. And Hannah, get Rowan Atkinson on. And Hannah Atkinson. Oh my God. Rowan and Hannah Atkinson. Right, okay, let's do this quiz because I've been on for 1:35. Bloody hell. Bloody hell. You dare vote Tory again and I'll unsubscribe. Don't worry, you've got nothing to fear there because I'm not going to. But I'm not going to vote for Labour either. No, I'm not going to bother. I'm not going to bother because there's no point. There's no point. There's no point. I am a principled person. I've voted for the Tory party since I could start voting, which was when I was 18 years old. So I don't believe in portraying those principles. So I will continue to be a Tory, but that doesn't mean I have to vote for them, and that's what I won't be doing. I won't be doing. Which I know you'll cry over, given you've only got 3 subs. I will, yes. One of these days I'm going to reach that magic 2,000 figure, but I don't know. I'm getting there, but it's teasing me now. It's teasing me now because I seem to gain about 8 a week. Eight subs a month, sorry. I seem to gain about 8 subs, but then I seem to lose about 6 the next month. So it's really like a yo-yo. It goes up and down every single month. But anyway. Paulie Yates, who once interviewed Gary Glitter on The Big Breakfast, I think she asked if he had any young friends, and he was very hesitant with the answer. Yeah, I bet he was. I I just read about him about a week ago. Doesn't he? He's got to pay £500,000 to one of his... well, I can't say any more than that. One of his, you know what, I can't mention it anymore. He's got to pay £500,000 to. What a shame. What a shame. Get Eddie Irvine on. The only reason you have more than 1,000 because you spent the first half of 2018 simply for... That's true. That is very true. But it wasn't my fault because they were going to demonetise my channel, weren't they? Because I had to have 1,000 subs. So I begged in the street. I did. I went out begging in the street. So please subscribe to me. But it worked. It worked. Yes. Now everyone's left me. Get Enrique Benaldi on. Yes, indeed. Right. Okay. 1 hour 37. Let's get this quiz out of the way. Oops. Don't leave that page on, Dave, or they'll see what the quiz is. We don't want that, do we? Right, as always, 10 questions and I'm out of here. I'm going to put Bra down because he's out there at the moment. And we're going to put Will down. And we'll see if Plynel Plessy or any others are going to join in. Right. I think we're getting pretty close to the end of these questions. Right, I remember that one. Right, here we go. As always, 10 questions, and it's the fastest person in the comments. You are free to use Google, of course, because I can't police that. But if you know the answer, of course, without using Google, you're at a supreme advantage, even with delay, because you can type it in while others are typing in Google. Okay, here we go then. Right, chat's okay, chat's okay. Let's go. 10 questions and then I'm out of here. Question number 1. And reform, yes. Question 1. On what grounds did Jarno Trulli retire his Renault car in the 2002 Australian Grand Prix? On what grounds did Jarno Trulli retire his Renault car in the 2002 Australian Grand Prix? What caused him to retire? 2002. Mechanical, says Bar. That's a good answer, but it's not the answer I've got. Engine, no. Yes, Plynel Plessy. He's in. I'm going to put your name down now. And you got the right answer. Plynel Plessy, here he goes. He started off the ball and he's won it. 1 point to you, sir. Yes, indeed, he spun off. Crash, damage. Thank you, Will. Radiator damage. Dear, says Jason Ely. Dear. That was a lottery. Yeah, it was a lottery. Spun on oil and crashed a lot. Yes. Right, so currently Plynel has 1 point. Will with 0. Bar with nothing. Anyone else wants to join as well, please feel free to do so. If I see an answer from you, I will include you into our little list here. Question number 2. Ralf Schumacher and Jarno Trulli drove for which team in the 2005 Australian Grand Prix? Ralf Schumacher and Jarno Trulli drove for which team in the 2005 Australian Grand Prix? Yes, Boaz got it first on the board. Toyota is the correct answer for question number 2. Yes, look at that. Plynel Plessy and Will came in there with the right answer as well. And Jason Ely. Thank you, sir. I'm going to include your name now, as you are now in the running. You got it right, sir, but you were just a little bit delayed. I do apologise. But I'll answer the question before finish for me. On a delay again, says Will. Well, there you go. There you go. If Bois starts to run away with it, I will be giving a 5-point bonus to one of the questions, but only if he starts running away with it. Right, okay. That was question number 2, which was Toyota. Question number 3, and don't worry, these are not all the same questions, it's just these first 3. Takuma Sato and Jenson Button drove for which team in the 2005 Australian Grand Prix? Takuma Sato and Jenson Button drove for which team in the 2005 Australian Grand Prix? Yes! Wells got it. It was BAR. British American Racing. Yes, well done, Plynel. You got in there as well, just a little bit behind. He's done it again. Yes, thank you, Jason. Iron Patriot. How many wins for Mansell? Second places and DNFs. Thank you, Mr. Iron Patriot. Yes. How many wins? Blimey, I've got no idea what the answer to that one would be. KD bottled that first question. Dave, hello, sir. Welcome to the stream. Welcome to the stream indeed. Right. That was question number 3. At the moment, Bras in the lead with 2 points. Lionel Plessy has 1 point. Will has nothing. And Jason Ely also has nothing. So question number 4. The National Bank of Abu Dhabi sponsored which 2010 Formula 1 Grand Prix? Now, don't think about this too hard. The National Bank of Abu Dhabi sponsored which 2010 Formula 1 Grand Prix? Abu Dhabi. Yes, that's right. Quite correct, Bois. Abu Dhabi. I was on a delay, unlike UKD. How many are you on? Right, this is question number... No, that was question 4. And Bois on 3. Planoplus is on 1. Will's on 0. Jason's on 0. Thank you, Will. Bahrain, that was not... It was Abu Dhabi. Yes. Qatar. Wow, what a difficult one. Yeah, I'll say, you didn't have to think about it too much. Right, question 3, 4. Question 5. What number did Michael Schumacher drive in the 2005 Indianapolis Grand Prix? What was his driver number in 2005 for the Indianapolis Grand Prix? Michael Schumacher. Who? Michael Schumacher. 1. You are correct. Right, 4 to Bois, 1 to Plynal. Plynal says 1, yes. Jason E says 3. Will says, yep, 1. Well done to everyone for taking part. 4, 5. Question number 6. Now this one's not easy. What number did Yuki Ide drive in the 2006 Australian Grand Prix? UK Ide 2006 Australian Grand Prix. What was his driver number? Yes, Bras got it again. 23. Correct. 9 wins, 3 times second, 4 DNSs. Well, thank you, Mr. Iron Patriot. Well done, well done. 22 says Plynal Plessy. Unfortunately, not correct. Bois has got it with number 23. 28 for Jason Ely. Yep, 23. Sato was 22. Thanks very much for playing. So Bois now has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Plynal has 1. Will has 0. Jason Ely has nothing as well. Okay. Question number 5, 6. Question number 7. Where did Jarno Trulli make his Grand Prix debut? At what circuit did Jarno Trulli make his Grand Prix debut? Again, I'm on delay and Paul's got the answer before the question even comes up. Same again. So, where did Jarno Trulli make his Grand Prix debut? Brazil, says Bois. That's not the correct answer. Quick, everyone, you can jump in there. Yes, Plynal Plessy's got it. Australia. Yes, well done. A point for Plessy. Melbourne, yes, Australia. Well done, everyone. Well done. Bras got it wrong, says Will F1 Gaming. Laughing emoji, laughing emoji, laughing emoji, laughing emoji. I'm thinking prior to 96. There you go. Right, so that's now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So question number 8 is... Which city hosted the Australian Grand Prix before Melbourne took over in 1996? Which city hosted the Australian Grand Prix before Melbourne took over in 1996? Adelaide. Yes, Bras got it with Adelaide. Well done to Planel Plessy. He was literally a second behind. And Will F1 game as well, a second behind. Now, Iron Patriots asked his own questions, which was what year the car with the last BE10 engine. And yes, the answer to that was the 2006 Toro Rosso. So well done for that. Right, here we go then. Bra now has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Plynel has 2. Jason Ely has nothing. And Will has nothing. So this is question number 9, I think. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yes. Shut up, Will. 8. Question number 9. I think I'm going to have to scrub that question because I think that one's out of date. Right, question number 9. During the 1999 season, how many races did Mika Salo drive in place of an injured Michael Schumacher? During the 99 season, how many races did Mika Salo drive in place of an injured Michael Schumacher? Of course, Michael, don't forget, broke his leg. Was it at Silverstone? I think it was. And he missed a few of the races. Bra's got it with 6. You are correct. 8 says Planel Plessy. Bra's, yeah, he got it. He got it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So, on to the last question. On to the last question. And this question, as it's the last one, and because Bra has run away with it, this question is worth 5 points. It's not going to beat Bra, so I'm not cheating. You're not going to beat Bra even with the points because I've just put even Plynel Plessy is not going to beat Bra if he gets this right. But this last question is worth 5 points as a special lag question for all you out there that got lag and obviously Bra hasn't. So this is worth 5 points, okay? And it's the last question tonight. Oh my God. Should I really put one that easy into the chat? Okay, I'll do it. Okay. You should all literally put this into the chat as quick as you can. You shouldn't even have to look this up on Google. Okay. For the final question, which is worth 5 points. Okay. As a special lag thing. It is. Can't believe I'm saying this. Which Formula 1 team did driver Lewis Hamilton join in 2013? Mercedes is the correct answer. And Bra's got it again. So yes, as Will said, do a hard one. So we'll do one hard one for the 5 points. We'll just give you 1 point for that, Bra, because you've run away with it anyway. We'll do one hard one for the 5 points because, yeah, that was so easy. So, yeah, thanks everyone. Plynel, so easy. Right, this one you'll have to think about. Oh, this one's... No, that one. This one's even harder. This one's even harder. Okay, you'll have to look this up. So here you go. 5 points then for the last question of the evening. Which team did Jackie Stewart drive for in the 1965 Dutch Grand Prix? Go to your Googles because I don't even. Well, I know the answer because it's in front of me. But if I didn't have the answer, I wouldn't know what the answer was. I'd have to look it up. So, yes, which team did Jackie Stewart drive for in the 1965 Dutch Grand Prix? Oh, my God. Last question tonight. Matra says, Bra, not the correct answer. Will's got it. BRM. Will's got it. Well done, Will. You got a 5 point bonus, Will, for getting that right as a special lag bonus. We don't give lag bonuses to Bra because he doesn't get any lag, but we give it to you because you got there. So there you go. That's the last question. That's the last question of the evening. Yes, you do get the 5 points. So, thanks everyone for joining me. Planal Plessy, Jason Ely was in last place with no points. Planal Plessy got 2 points. Will got that special bonus question of 5 points. And Bra, I think, has got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 points in total in the quiz. So, once again, Bra is the winner of the quiz. Still got battered, says Bra. Anyway, so there you go. That's the end of the quiz. Thanks so much, everyone, for joining me tonight with me and Mr. TB the Bear. TB the Bear. Yes. Another KD bottle job. Anything less than 100% is a bottle job with the usual 15-second advantage. There you go. You all did well. You all did well, though. You all mostly got those answers right just because of the delay. You were beaten by Bra, but you did. A lot of you got most of those. If Bra wasn't here, you would have all been up there getting those questions right. So that's what I say. No problems. Katie only won by 3 points. Yes, he did only win by 3 points. You're correct because you got the lag question right, Will. You got it right. So well done to you. And thanks so much for everyone for joining me in the chat tonight. To Will F1 Gaming, to Boar, to Jason Ely, also to I Am Patriot, who's asked a question and I'm just trying to... Mercedes, Hamilton. How many wins and poles for Ferrari? 2013. Yes. Well done, sir. I can't remember how many wins and poles for Fernando Alonso. Quite a lot, I expect. Anyway, thanks you very much to Iron Patriot for joining us tonight. To Will F1 Gaming, to Boar, to Jason Ely, to, of course, Planal Plessy. He was also in there as well. And just scrolling up the stream. Don't think there was anyone else in there unless someone joined at the start. Oh, yes. I almost forgot about Matty. Matty was in there right at the start. Does it go right at the start? No, it doesn't. Matty was in there as well at the start. Oh, and a Helium Trophy as well. Thank you, sir, for joining me tonight at the start of the stream. All I've got is the comment at the top here, and it says, Helium Trophy, yeah, Star Wars was complete bollocks. So on that note, I should say good night. Unbelievable. Lotus, says I Am Patriot. He's still going. He's still going in the chat. Anyway, thanks everyone. You've been awesome as always. Grand Prix, of course. But as Planal Plessy says, who cares? Who cares about the Grand Prix? 1963. He's still going in the chat. He's still going in the chat. I don't know what 63 is. Anyway, thanks everyone for joining me tonight in the chat. And enjoy the Grand Prix in Spain. But as Planal Plessy says, who cares about Formula 1 anymore? My sentiments entirely. And yeah, look out in the future. I'll be back doing some retro videos again. Back on the old PS1 and PS2 games. So I'm sure you'll be excited about it because it's so much better than these modern games. It's unbelievable. Anyway, thank God he's finished. Thank you. Thank you. Your support is absolutely immense. Thank you so much. It really is. F1 2000. Yeah. I'm going to write it down because you keep saying F1 2002 and then you change your bloody mind because you keep forgetting. So I'm going to write it down now. F1. Because I'll tell you what, if I do 100% race on 2002 and you turn around in the comments and say, no, it wasn't that one. It was 2000. I'm going to be very bloody annoyed. Very bloody annoyed indeed. Especially after doing 100% on the bloody stupid thing. F1 2001. Yes, you do. You keep changing it. You keep saying 2002. Right, I've written that down. Now, F1 2001. Yes, that was the one with the man keep going on about the bloody blue flags for every 30 seconds. Right, I've written that one down. We shall be doing that one. And it's your fault if it's the wrong one. Right, yes, F1 2001. Oh, I can't wait. I can't wait. But as I say, I could just put the PS2 on and just leave it on overnight and continue it the next day. Which is so much better. Because as you know, all these old F1 games, you can't save them in the middle of the race. You have to do the whole bloody thing. Which is a pain in the backside, but there you go. Anyway. I'm off now to play Jack Villeneuve's Racing Challenge. Oh my god. I have played it for about 20 minutes. And yeah, it's probably the best best Formula 1 type game I've ever played. It's so much better than F124, I'll tell you that much. In fact, it's miles better. Absolutely miles better. Anyway, I'm out of here. Thanks so much for joining me tonight, everyone, for another Hookster Talks. Enjoy the Grand Prix, and I'll catch you on Sunday for the All Seasons with special guest, don't forget, James May. Yes, James May. Oh, thank you, Iron Patriot. It says 32 wins, 22 poles for Alonso. Wow. I thought he won a lot more than that, to be honest. That's quite surprising. I can understand the poles. That seems about right. But 32 wins, I thought he'd won more than that. Interesting. Very interesting indeed. Anyway, thank you, everyone. That's good night for me. And I'll catch you